Welcome back to the Sight for Sore Eyes. I'm glad you could join me today. This morning, bright and early, I got out of bed and it was dark out and cold too. Anyway, I grabbed the old D200 here and the Tokina 12 to 24 lens. Also brought along my Nikon 300 f4. I jumped in the truck and thought I'd go look around town before the sun came up, looking for some color, maybe some lights or something. Ended up going to Wasilla Lake. Really pretty there. They've got some like colored lights up. Some of it's left over from Christmas, but others is left out on poles in the ice, and I'll explain that to you in a little bit. But yeah, it was nice, and I spent a couple hours out there just wandering around in the cold and thinking about putting on my gloves, but I never did. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, let's take a look at some of the pictures I got this morning. My objective this morning was to shoot the D200 at ASA. Sorry, I'm going back to the old days here. ISO 800, and see what kind of pictures I could get with that camera at ISO 800. So yeah, let's take a look at them, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about them, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are. So yeah, let's go.
Who am I to say what you should want and what you should need? Who am I to say for what your heart should bleed? No, no, I can only tell you about me, so listen now. The night falls down, a new day breaks, the world goes round in its tracks again. While I wait for a bigger shake, I want a heart quake, my friend. Who am I to judge how you roll and with whom you lay? Who am I to say to which God to pray? And if the jury's still out, then you're a lot like me. The night falls down, a new day breaks, the world goes round in its tracks again. While I'm waiting for a bigger shake, I want a heart quake, my friend. Heart quake. That's right. I want a heart quake.
Well, what'd you think? I think those came out pretty good. They were all handheld. I didn't use a tripod. Shooting, like I said, I'm shooting at ISO 800 on this, and I just wandered around out there. It was pretty cold, and I was mostly by myself, so it was kind of nice. 800 on this D200, ISO 800 on this camera is about the max I would go if I was going to print pictures any larger than 16 by 20. I think with 16 by 20 you could get away with it. If you wanted bigger photos, I don't know if I'd even try it or not. I shot some pictures the other night. I had it on 1600, and it was at night, and so there was a lot of shadows, and yeah, they really, the noise showed up in those pretty bad. So yeah, I think I would put a maximum ISO on this camera, unless you're shooting just strictly for the web, Facebook or something like that. Then you could go at a higher ISO, but I wouldn't go much higher than 800 on that camera if I thought I might be printing some of these pictures out. Now, on those pictures that I took this morning, that is there's a little park over there on the lake, on Wasilla Lake, and this is all in the city limits. It's in Wasilla city limits, and there's a park there. It's really a popular park, especially in the summertime. A lot of people go swimming there, and it's a pretty good sized area, good parking, things, you know, and it's a very welcoming place. A lot of the young people go there. In the winter time, those lights you saw, the colored lights over the ice, the city tries its best to keep an area cleared on the ice for ice skaters. And you'd be surprised how many people use that area. And the lights are for the darkness, because it's dark here a lot. And so that's just enough lighting to light up the ice for everyone, and that makes it kind of fun with the colored lights. I guess they leave them on 24 hours a day, but it makes a nice area, and when the ice is cleared off, it's kind of fun. They got, you know, it's cold. They do have some benches around there, which you saw, but mainly you want to keep busy and keep active. And it was a pretty place. It's always a pretty place to go out there and take pictures, and I enjoyed myself. I think it was probably getting down around 0 degrees, something like that. It was getting a little chilly. And again, I found out that the batteries for this D200, they don't like the cold. At least my batteries don't. As I went back to my car, I put the 300 millimeter lens on when I got in my pickup, and I was just playing around with it, shooting out the window and stuff like that. In fact, a couple of those pictures you might have noticed, it was with a telephoto. Anyway, I noticed this young man, I guess, come out on the lake. It was still pretty dark out. The sun had not come up yet at all. Anyway, he was on ice skates, and he went skating around quite a ways away from me, and I had the 300 on, so I got out and I rested it against my truck and tried to get some shots of him. I did get that one picture. There was camera movement in, especially with the 300. I had a lot of trouble getting good shots because of the camera movement. Anyway, he skated around there, and then he was just coming back to where I could get him lined up with those colored lights in the foreground and him in the distance, and it was perfect. I had it. He was coming in right like I'd envisioned it, and there he was. He was right there. I pressed the shutter, bam, my battery was dead. That was it. That was the shot I'd been planning. He was out there about 20 minutes, and I'd planned that shot. I would have been better off not to taken some other shots, I guess. Anyway, I didn't get that shot, but that's all right. I did get a couple of him. That was pretty good. So I printed out one of those pictures, and I'm gonna show it to you now. It's a nice picture, and I think I'm pushing, like I said, I'm pushing the size on it here. It's a 12 by 18 image on 13 by 19 paper. And from it, you know, for farther out, you know, it looks pretty good. But when you get right down close to it and eyeball it, then yeah, you can start to see some noise and things in that. But for just a picture to hang on the wall, this would be great. So this is the one I selected this morning, from this morning. It's a really pretty picture. The sun is not up at all. The sky is bright, but the sun has not come up yet. And it's good and sharp, and the colors are just fantastic. I like the colors a lot. The lights really add some color to it. Otherwise, non-color image. But you can see it. It came out. I don't know. Hope you can see it. It's good and sharp for handheld. Now I shot this, of course, with the D200 on January 6, 2022. I used a Tokina 12-28 f4 lens. I shot it at 28 millimeter at 1/20th of a second at f4, ISO 800. I was using aperture priority, and I believe I had my exposure compensation maybe at -7 when I took this. But yeah, it's a nice picture. And I'm going to add that to my collection. I'm happy with that. I was really surprised when I seen it come out of the printer. The colors were so nice on it, and I was pretty happy about that. So that was my journey for this morning. Go out and take some pictures with that D200 camera. I've always wondered what the highest ISO I would like to go on it. Now I know it's about 800. You might go to 12, but once you get to 1600, yeah, it's not that good. Unless you can get your exposure. I think if you were able to get your histogram well centered, you know, I think you might get a little better picture. But when I was shooting at 1600 last night, I wasn't doing that. I was trying to handhold everything, and so I was underexposed quite a bit. And then when I adjusted the exposure, yeah, that noise just jumped right out at me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I did. I'm glad I finally got myself outside, even though it was cold. I am getting better, and I'm happy with that. I'm for that, rather, and I'm ready to get rolling here again. So, you guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for all the new subscribers. I've been getting a few, not tons, you know, but I've been getting a few, so I'm really thankful for that. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate those who leave comments. I do. Anyway, you guys take care, and I will be back, I think next week. Well, I'm sure next week. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. But anyway, until then, you guys stay safe, stay warm, and keep on taking pictures. See you all later. Bye.